All right, good evening, everyone. As you begin to file in, welcome to the Colorado Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us this evening. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions that's happening this evening, so please feel free to sign up for additional sessions after this one. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same place where you originally registered. Without further ado, we'd now like to get started, and we'll kick things off with Illinois Wesleyan University.
Fantastic, thank you so much. Hi everyone, my name is Nikki Klebeck. I'm the Assistant Director for Regional Admissions with Illinois Wesleyan University. I actually live in Denver, Colorado, and recruit students all over the West Coast, or the western half of the US, I should say. So though we don't get to meet in person this year, I'm really happy to be talking with all of you, and we really do love our out-of-state students. However, I did go to Wesleyan, and I graduated about 4 years ago. So here at Illinois Wesleyan, we are just about 2 hours south of Chicago, and we like to ask the question, how are you going to kind of break through the norm of a liberal arts experience at a college? Illinois Wesleyan really works to allow students to, once again, break past that idea of just doing one major, one thing. That we really love students who are unique and ready to kind of pursue all of their passions at our school. Just a kind of a brief understanding of who we are. We are a small university. As I mentioned, we're a liberal arts school. We're just about 1,600 students on campus. However, we are actually located in a big college town. So once again, that normal college experience, we really get to have the best of both worlds at Wesleyan with the small classes, wonderful mentorship from our faculty, and a really wonderful community with our students. But we're only about 2 miles away from Illinois State University. So our students really get that experience of being near that big college environment, but still that small class feel. So you're kind of getting access to everything you'd want, but it's a really fun place to be. Now back on campus with our academics, we have also a very wide range of student experience at our school. We have a large college of liberal arts that houses our business and science programs, a school of nursing, and then also a college of fine arts as well with performance programs. So our students kind of vary drastically in the academic experience that they can have here. Now delving into that a little bit more, I love to see our students, once again, pursue all their passions in lots of different ways. If they're interested in more of that social science experience, at Wesleyan, all of our students in kind of social science and humanities actually get to have a senior seminar project where they're doing their own independent original research by the end of their 4 years. They spend an entire year and a half actually creating these projects and learning the statistics and the background knowledge in order to be able to pursue research in their own way. So research is not just for the natural science kids. And it's amazing to see that even as a small liberal arts school like us really pushes for that opportunity for students to stand out in that way. We also offer a free and fully paid for internship program called the Freeman Asia Internship that takes 36 students from Illinois Wesleyan a year and places them in a country in Asia for an entire summer, so for 2 months. Where they get to have an internship and also get class credit out of it and have that study abroad experience. So if students want that kind of immersive experience to get out and see the world in a different way, they don't really have to worry about the financial burden of that. Since we are a liberal arts school, it is important to say that we do also have a very strong science program. We have an 85% medical school acceptance rate and 100% nursing job placement rate. For our pre-med or pre-health students, we have an incredible track for them with a pre-med advisor. Our students get to experience a cadaver lab. They get to have a medical externship where they're shadowing and doing an internship in a hospital with doctors in the hospitals nearby. And all of our nurses actually get a chance to study abroad or add on any minor they want. So once again, that experience of really pursuing more than you think you can at a university like us. In our psychology department, we actually have a dog behavior lab where, I kid you not, we bring in dogs from the community and actually do behavioral analysis with them, and get to have quite an immersive experience. And so if you love animals and you find that you like research and want to be a part of that in our psychology department, you can absolutely do it. And then we also actually, one of our faculty on campus studies different reactions in outer space through a huge machine that she has in her upstairs lab through astrochemistry. So she's combining our physics and chemistry programs to do that with students. So just a few highlights there. We also do have a very strong fine arts program, ranked 7th in the nation for musical theater and 11th in the nation for design and tech and theater. And then lastly, our biggest major on campus is actually business. State Farm Insurance Company was founded in Bloomington, where our school is located, about 2 hours south of Chicago, as I said. And the past and current CEOs of State Farm have been Illinois Wesleyan graduates. So students who are interested in accounting, marketing, finance, business, find that this is a really great springboard for them to really do whatever they want with their future after they graduate from Wesleyan. Specifically, I like to highlight our engineering pathway at Wesleyan because, once again, that's not something people think of for a small liberal arts school like us. But breaking through that norm, we really love to see how well our students do when they pursue an engineering pathway. And that's through either pre-engineering at our school, or they can actually do a 3-2-1 program where in 6 years they finish a master's, and we directly transfer them to an institution like Washington University, U of I, etc. So our students actually can, even with a 4-year degree at our school, go directly into industry, do a master's program, or actually pursue a PhD. Our physics students really find that they actually have a lot more flexibility than many other students who want to go to an engineering school that might be at a bigger institution. You can double major in our physics pre-engineering track. You can be a student athlete, and they really find that even if you have a passion in music or something like that, you can still pursue that at our school. And they absolutely do very, very well for themselves. So quite a fun program, and just a small kind of example of the different things our students can do here. On a broader kind of range on the different opportunities students have on campus. As I mentioned, that research is a big component. For those of you who are from the Colorado area, we actually, you might have heard of the name John Wesley Powell. He was a very famous expeditioner. His name is at the Dinosaur National Monument, if you're ever out there. And he was a professor at Illinois Wesleyan a long time ago, and we have a research conference that we named after him that all students are welcome to present on. Hands-on learning is a huge and important part of our school, and I really think that our students get that flexible component as well. We find that at Illinois Wesleyan, students get to kind of break through that opportunity, not just on campus, but in the community as well. So I'll skip through here, but we really at Illinois Wesleyan, we want our students to not only do well for their future, but do good for the world.
Great, thank you so much. And if you have any questions about Illinois Wesleyan, certainly feel free to use the Q&A widget. And up next, we have Loyola University, Chicago.
Great, thank you so much. All right, I'm going to share my screen with y'all here. Okay, so my name is Sarah Lang, and I am the Colorado representative for Loyola Chicago. This is my first year having you all, so I'm very excited to work with you. But I've been at Loyola for just about 1.5 years now. And I think it's a really wonderful place to be. I'm really excited to talk to you a little bit about it. And I think something that is a good place to start off with is just identifying us as a Jesuit institution. We are Chicago and Illinois' only Jesuit institution. And if you're not sure what that means, essentially the Jesuits were this large order of Catholic priests that were founded way back in the 1500s by St. Ignatius of Loyola. And their basic goal was to provide this holistic education that both inspired this compassion for others and this pull to fight for social justice. So as we go through and talk about a couple of the highlights here, that thread thread is going to kind of run through everything that we're discussing. Just some basic demographics here for you, some statistics. Our total enrollment is about 17,000 students, with just over 12,000 of that being undergraduate. So I think we really toe the line nicely of being a mid-sized college. We've got a lot of the resources that larger state institutions have, but we have a smaller class size and more tight-knit communities, having our average class size be just about 26. We are located in the city of Chicago in the neighborhood of Rogers Park. And as you can see here, we are right along the lake shores of Lake Michigan. Rogers Park is the northernmost neighborhood within the city limits. And it's really nice because, you know, if you're on our campus, you can kind of get a sense for it from this picture, but if I were to drop you right in the middle of the campus, you really wouldn't have any idea that you're in such a large city. So that's kind of a nice, easy transition, and the fact that it feels like a traditional green space campus. But we do also have a campus in downtown Chicago, just a few blocks right off the Magnificent Mile. So that really gives you the best of both worlds during your time at Loyola in terms of just exploring the city, access to the city, and all of the great opportunities that it provides. We've got about 80 different majors and 80 different minors to choose from, and we'll take a look at the colleges on the next slide here. But something that really is very important throughout all of your 4 years at Loyola is the idea of engaged learning. We have about 675 different companies that have hired students for internships. We've also had research positions, service learning, and so much more. And that's all considered engaged learning. Every student that comes through Loyola is going to be required to complete some sort of engaged learning in terms of hands-on learning that's going to get you real experience with the things you're learning rather than just sitting and watching a lecture. Every student will do some sort of engaged learning or experiential learning during their time at Loyola, but many students will do a lot more than that. Also, we've got great study abroad programs. We actually have 2 international centers. We have a Rome Center and a center in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Both of these are super popular spots to study abroad. Very easy transition, very accessible and very affordable, but obviously we have many, many more programs for students to choose from, and about 1 in 3 of our students study abroad, so it's a very popular option. Moving into the academics here, the top 4 schools that you're going to be taking a look at here are really located and based up on our Lakeshore campus, which you're seeing in the picture here. And then those 4 schools towards the bottom, starting with the School of Education, will be essentially schools that have major classes down at the Water Tower campus. So we kind of split those up, but the 2 campuses are very, very fluid. You'll spend quite a bit of time on both, and we make it super easy to travel between the 2 with an inter-campus shuttle. We also have 45 different 5-year dual degree programs. These are fantastic things to take advantage of. I'll highlight the social work program because you can get admitted to that automatically as a freshman. And essentially, the 5-year programs are our way of really condensing your education, saving you some time and money while still becoming a very marketable applicant in your field. So those are a great thing to keep in mind. With the majority of them, you don't even have to apply until your junior year. So it's a great thing to keep in mind for the future. Student life obviously is very abundant. We have our 13 Division I NCAA teams. Our basketball and volleyball teams play right on campus. We've got Greek life, and we have over 250 different clubs and organizations, including everything from academic to service-based, faith-based, club sports, intramural sports, and more. We're really not a commuter campus, so 50% of our students are from in-state, 50% are from out of state, and we have all 50 states represented and about 80 different countries represented. So students are coming from all over the place and really make Loyola their home. So you can be sure that campus will always be bustling. And then I'll just want to tap quickly on our application process. For you seniors that are with us today, this is obviously very important right now. You may have already started an application on our website or from the Common Application. Either one is perfectly fine. We are also test optional this year. If you're applying for the nursing or the engineering programs, we typically would advise you to submit test scores if you have those, but otherwise they're very, very optional and they will not be detrimental to your application. 98% of our students are going to receive some sort of grants or financial aid, so you can be sure that it's going to be very easy to fund your education here at Loyola. But just to kind of wrap up, you know, I think so much more of just the basic value and the basic facts of the value of the Loyola education. I think the real value is just the experience that you'll have here. You have such great access to the city, as I'm sure all my colleagues will mention. I think that's a really invaluable thing for students during a very developmental time in their lives. And Loyola makes a very particular effort to ensure that you have the opportunities to really get out there, take advantage of all the networking and internship opportunities that Chicago can provide, and ensure that you're walking away from all of this being a man or a woman who is not only for others, but with others. And that's really kind of the base of that Jesuit education. And with that, I will pass along.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And up next, we have the University of Chicago.
All right, great. Thanks, Sarah. My sister went to Loyola, had a fantastic time there. I love hearing about the school on the other side of the city. So we're moving down south, about 7 miles south of downtown, to the University of Chicago, which is a mid-sized liberal arts college underneath the umbrella of a major research institution. As you're looking at this slide here, you can hopefully see a little bit of where we are in the city and also a little bit of campus. So traditional college campus, a technically registered botanical garden in the city of Chicago. And if you see some pictures of folks here, or hopefully you do, those are a few famous firsts at UChicago. So Georgiana Simpson in the bottom left is the first African-American woman to receive her PhD from the university. In the top middle there is Jay Berwanger, who won the first Heisman Trophy ever back when we were a football powerhouse at the Division I level and undefeated against Notre Dame, although we haven't played them in about a century. But 4 years after he won the Heisman, we disbanded the football program and turned the football stadium into a lab. And underneath the football stadium, Enrico Fermi in the bottom right worked on the Manhattan Project, where the first controlled self-sustaining nuclear reaction took place. So a history of research and innovation at UChicago started there. And in terms of, the academic model and what it means to be a student when you do come to campus, first and foremost, we are on the quarter system. So yesterday was our first day of classes. We start a little later, we go a little later, and students take classes over the course of 3 academic quarters during the year, taking 3 or 4 classes at a time. And the types of classes they take are broken down into these 3 main areas. So you choose a major, you take elective courses, but you also study in the University of Chicago's core curriculum. 8 different subject areas, but very flexible and different for each student. So 8 different types of humanities courses are offered, 5 different social science courses. About half of our students study abroad in over 30 different cities around the world, and many of them are actually completing a core civilizations or language sequence in terms of trying different things within the core curriculum. So it's the foundation of the education. It's like an intellectual toolbox for students as they go through the rest of their undergraduate years. And it's essentially something that's the hallmark of one of the things that UChicago is known for. Now, we offer over 50 majors and 40 minors. They range pretty widely. We're well known in econ and bio, as well as computer science, fantastic programs in the arts. Something that's pretty new at Chicago that we're leading the charge on is molecular engineering, which part of that is developing the quantum internet in the United States. So that's something we're working pretty hard at right now. And about 25% of our students double major, and half have a major and a minor. You can see some stats at the bottom of the screen here, 5-to-1 student to faculty ratio, just under 7,000 students, to give you a sense of our size and how we set things up. Those core classes, most of those are discussion based, so we will actually cap those at 19 students each. And that's kind of the general academic model that you'd be coming into. Now, one of the things that I think we do pretty well at UChicago is partner students with programs that are going to get them to that next level. So whatever students want to do when they graduate. And I mentioned we're a research institution. And so about 80% of students conduct research. And one of the ways that they do that is just by building relationships, getting to know their teachers and saying, hey, how do I get involved? Go to office hours, send an email, see them around campus, because 60% of our faculty live in the neighborhood of Hyde Park, which is where we're located in Chicago. And so whether it's in a lab or not in a lab, we manage about 160 different research centers and committees with the university, have about $500 million in research funds that come in each year. And a lot of our undergraduates are able to take a piece of that and a part of that as they go through their undergraduate years. Now, the careers in programs that you see here are also going to be a bit of a differentiator in how we set up our undergrads. These are run by a career services division. They partner with majors, and they're not majors themselves. So while we're really big contributors sending students out into the business realm, we don't have a traditional business major. So students might major in economics or math or public policy, and then take courses at our Graduate School of Business through UChicago Careers in Business. And along the way, we'll provide guest speakers and workshops and anything else students might need to get to that next level. And that's going to be the same as you go through any of these programs. The healthcare program is run by the former director of admissions at our Pritzker School of Medicine. The entrepreneurship program partners with a startup incubator that we run on campus. So there really is a lot of different opportunities here. And we offered over 3,000, this number's wrong, 3,000 internships last year that were paid and guaranteed to only go to UChicago students. And 96% of the class of 2020 had their plans set, either grad school or jumping into the workforce when they graduated. But of course, as you're hearing from all of us tonight, community is an important part of your college experience. At UChicago, that means living and housing, and we require housing for 2 years, although we guarantee housing all 4 years. Each student is placed into one of these houses that has 60 to 100 students, has its own traditions, house lounge, house council, table in the dining hall, rivalries against other houses and things like intramural sports or our annual scavenger hunt, which is one of the largest in the world. But of course, there are over 400 student organizations to choose from beyond that. We generally have the top ranked Model UN team in the country. University Theater puts on 35 productions per year. The Zombie Readiness Task Force puts on a big Humans versus Zombies game that's campus-wide each year. And although I joked about football earlier, we do have 20 varsity sports at the Division III level. Now, of course, one of my favorite traditions we have at UChicago is that we have Dollar Milkshake Wednesdays. I have one pictured here because they're delicious, nutritious, and at least one of those things I just said. But it's really a fun thing that kind of is a good way to break up the week. Obviously, a lot of us, we're all in Illinois, a few of us in Chicago, so the city is certainly part of the experience for students, and you've heard a little bit about it, but it's a fun new place to explore. Students get free access to transit and an arts pass that gives students free or reduced price admission to 80 different organizations around the city. I don't like to quote rankings very often, but 2 years ago, we were ranked first in the nation for the most caffeinated campus in America, so that's what I'll leave you with. Thanks for listening. And ask some questions in the Q&A chat if you have any.
Great. Thank you so much. And just as a reminder, with the Q&A, you can pose questions for all of the different institutions, or if you have specific ones for institutions that you've heard from, certainly feel free to use it either way. And up next, we have the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to each and every one of you. I'd like to give a shout out to my colleagues for sharing some great information. I want to head down 2 hours south to the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. I just want to share with you all the power of I and also some stuff about the application process as well. So our campus profile, we have 33,000 undergraduate students on our campus. We're actually ranked number 2 in diversity among top-ranked Midwest universities. So that means we have about 16,000 students of color on our campus as well. Of our undergraduate enrollment, 25% are out-of-state students. We believe it is our job to prepare students for life after college, and one of the ways to do that is to immerse them into a diverse environment where they can grow both personally and professionally. We also believe that people of color and out-of-state students offer a different perspective, which is useful in a classroom, research center, student organizations, and also on campus. So we do have 150 programs of study in 11 different academic communities. And we also have some top-ranked programs in Granger College of Engineering, the Geese College of Business, Psychology, Social Work, and also Media Studies. We actually have our newest academic community, the School of Information Sciences, which has the #1 grad school in the nation for information sciences as well. If you're interested in pre-health, we do offer some in medicine, dentistry, physical therapy, and others as well. And we also have a medical law and veterinary medicine college. Biggest thing to know is that we are the number 15 public university in the nation. So whichever major you choose to study, your degree will be highly respected. As I was saying, Champaign-Urbana is located on the eastern seat of Illinois, just 2 hours south of Chicago. So if you ever wanted to get away for a weekend trip or looking for an easy plane ride home, we have you covered that way. So not only will you be involved in your education, but you'll be active and socially engaged as well. This balance actually sets us apart in many ways. We do have Big Ten sports, and I'm very proud to say that Big Ten football is back. We have 1,800 student groups on campus in anything from social, political, religious, and even more than that. We also offer a leadership certificate program, which is designed to provide you with a customized experience for developing leadership competencies from the Illinois motto of leadership through leadership, education and training, co-curricular involvement, self-reflection, and coaching. So we're home to what is called Research Park, which is a 43,000 square foot facility, which acts as a technology business incubator that supports our university and community entrepreneurs in all stages of their startup journey. We have a few companies that are located there like State Farm, John Deere, and Yahoo. So research spans all disciplines and not just science-based majors, and has an interdisciplinary focus. So you can have one major and also do research in something completely different from that. We also have the Office of Undergraduate Research to help you find opportunities in your area, and you can even do research as a freshman student. So ultimately, the goal of college is to help you prepare for an impactful future, and that's why our education is worth it. Of the 86 Fortune 100 companies that recruited alumni last year, 59 of them came to campus to do so, and 93% of alumni are employed or continuing their education within 6 months of graduation. So just a few things about how to harness this power. You can apply through My Alumni or Coalition. As was shared previously about shared admissions applications, Coalition is a shared admissions application. So if you're looking to apply to other colleges, like my colleagues, this might be the way to go. My Alumni is a in-house application process. Our early action filing period is November 15th, and the benefits of early action for the seniors out there is priority consideration and applications, scholarships, and also honors programs. And then the regular application filing period ends on January the 5th. We do have a holistic approach. So we're going to look at your courses. We're going to look at the extracurricular activities you have, and also the essay as well. As one of my colleagues did say, for their institution, we are also test optional. So applicants do have the option of submitting or not submitting their test scores. You won't be penalized in any way or viewed differently if you choose not to submit your test scores. And also I want you to know that I don't know what we're going to be like the next academic year or academic years going forward. We do have a direct admission program. So I do suggest applying to 2 programs to give yourself the best chance of admission. However, it will be one application process. And so seniors out there, I suggest you get on it now, submit that application for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. Feel free to prepare yourself now by researching majors of interest that you have, working on your essay, and also continually becoming a leader within your school. And I will gladly answer any questions in the Q&A. And feel free to reach out to us by phone or email if you have any other questions. We do have virtual visits available for you all, either one-on-one or if you want to get more information about us, we do have that along with a student panel, which you can talk directly one-on-one to students. But just want to say thank you all. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Great. Thank you very much, Philip. Just a reminder to use the Q&A widget for any questions that you may have, as we'll address those after our next presentation, which is DePaul University.
All right, hi everyone. Let me just get my PowerPoint set up. All righty. So I'm so excited to be talking with you all. My name is Sarah Fink. I am the admission counselor from DePaul University that works with students from the state of Colorado. And I'm happy to just kind of dive in and give you some basic facts about DePaul. So heading kind of back up north, we are located in Chicago. DePaul also functions as a dual campus, meaning that we have resources in both campuses located in our city. And students can function out of either one throughout their whole DePaul career and never have to visit the other, but most students will spend time on both campuses depending on their interests. The 2 campuses are located first. Here you can see this picture is Lincoln Park. This is a northern neighborhood of Chicago, about 15 minutes north of downtown. So if you're a little unfamiliar with the city and haven't visited Chicago, we are located off of the Fullerton red, brown, and purple line, which really just means that we have access to pretty much anywhere in the city. We also have a campus located in the Loop, which is the downtown area of Chicago. Fun fact, I didn't realize it was called the Loop until I was about a sophomore and realized it's because the trains go in a loop around the city and that part. But that is where you see all those buildings in the background, all those high-rise buildings. And we have different colleges based in different campuses, which I will mention in just a bit. A few other basic facts about DePaul. We are actually the largest Catholic university in the nation. We have a little over 22,000 total students. Of those, about 15,000 or so are undergraduate students. That being said, we have students, about 30% of our students identify as Catholic, and then we do have over over 30 different religions represented on campus, including students who don't practice. About 45% of our students are students of color, and about a third are first-generation college students. So those ideals of access and attainment to higher education is really fundamental to who we are as a university. We were founded in 1898 in Lincoln Park, and we're actually one of the first universities in Illinois to admit women and people of color. So again, those values are super fundamental to who we are as a university. All right, so let's just take a look at DePaul at a glance. So I've already mentioned some of these facts to you all, but just to reiterate, we are, again, a pretty large university, about 22,000 total students. However, we do have about a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio, so we're able to keep the class sizes pretty small. On average, our classes are about 22 students, which again is really unheard of for a university of our size, but we really make it our mission to have those class sizes small so that you have relationships with your professors, you know the people in your programs, and you're getting that one-on-one attention with all the big resources that a large university can provide you. We do have students from all 50 states as well as 111 countries, and about 43% of our students are coming from out of state. Largest feeder states include California, Texas, Michigan, Ohio, Florida. So we have a big Midwestern presence, obviously, but we also, again, have students from all over the state. This past year, we had about 20 students from the state of Colorado attend DePaul, and every year it grows. So hopefully, maybe I'll see some of you on campus next year. To get more into academics, DePaul does have over 300 different academic programs. Currently, you can see there at the bottom, our top 5 most popular majors include film and television, film and television, health sciences, accounting, psychology, and computer science. So we really do have a wide range of programs at DePaul. We have over 130 majors and a total of 300 academic programs, including minors and graduate programs as well. Within our 10 schools and colleges, you can study anything from business is currently our largest college. This includes accounting, which again, one of our more popular majors. We actually have an honors program specifically for accounting students where they can intern with one of the big 4 accounting firms in Chicago their junior year. So you actually take a whole quarter off your junior year to do that accounting internship. And many other business programs have a similar structure. We are also on the quarter system, similar to University of Chicago. Within our Loop campus, because again, our business school is located in the Loop, which is again the downtown area of Chicago, also houses our College of Communication, which is going to feature majors like communication and media, journalism, PR and advertising, sports communication is actually one of our newer majors. And then along with that is actually our fastest growing college, which is called the College of Computing and Digital Media. We refer to it as CDM because computing and digital media is quite a mouthful. I'm actually a graduate of this college. It includes film and television, animation, computer science, IT, data science, graphic design, game design. So really, really fast growing areas, not only at DePaul, but in this country. Those students are highly recruited on our campus and have some of the best employment rates after graduation. Other than that, we have excellent programs on our Lincoln Park campus that include the Liberal Arts and Social Sciences College, our College of Science and Health, Education, and then DePaul is a conservatory school for both music and theater. So if you're interested in our theater school, that does require an audition to get into that program, and as well as our School of Music. And if there are any questions about those programs, I can certainly answer them in the chat. Some kind of famous and fun alumni that I always like to plug from our theater school. John C. Riley graduated from DePaul's theater school, as did, if there are any Stranger Things fans in the audience, Steve graduated from DePaul as well. He plays, or Joe Keery plays Steve on Stranger Things. So just to kind of wrap it up, DePaul, again, being centrally located in Chicago affords our students a lot of opportunities both on and off campus. If anyone's interested in applying, it is free to apply, and we are on the Common App, and DePaul has actually been test optional for the past 8 years, so we have no plans to change that. So again, happy to answer any questions for you all in the chat if there are any.
Great. Thank you so much. Quick schedule update for everyone. Unfortunately, Lake Forest College is unable to join us this evening, so we will not have a presentation on them, but the good thing is that just means we have additional time to answer any questions that you may have. So please put all of those questions in the chat, in the Q&A feature, and we will bring back all of the presenters. There was one question that received some private replies, but in case anyone didn't see it, there was a question regarding mental health resources on campus and what those services look like, if anyone is interested in responding about your offerings.
Sure, happy to jump in here. I think this is a great question because I think a lot of institutions of higher education are trying to think through ways to support students. 20 years ago is just, well, we need to give you a place to live, and now we want to make sure that students feel safe and secure and able to take on their classes and be successful in college. And often that requires both physical health, mental health, financial health and well-being. There are a lot of ways that students need to be supported. And I think that's one of the ways that we think about at the University of Chicago. And I'm sure we're not alone in the institutions represented here in terms of trying to support students in every one of those facets. I think if an institution-specific thing I can point to is that we're just finishing up a new wellness center. So it's actually a building that will bring our student counseling services as well as a kind of physical health, and so your doctors and whatnot, like under one roof. So things are more easily accessible in one location on campus as opposed to spread out. And what I think students had basically asked for what we're trying to provide them now.
Yeah, just to kind of tag on to that and kind of what DePaul, our approach to that is, we do have an Office of Health Promotion and Wellness, as well as a university counseling center. Students get 10 free counseling sessions per quarter, which equals about 1 per week. And so we really do take it very seriously at DePaul, and again, really like diving into our values of access and attainment of higher education. That doesn't just mean getting you to college, that means helping you the whole way through to graduation. So helping you with your physical well-being, your mental well-being, whether that be tutoring services, counseling services, we're very dedicated to that.
Great, thank you so much. And there's a question that I think would apply to many of the institutions, and that's about the scholarship opportunities that are offered to minorities if accepted to any of these colleges. And I think since I imagine most have some sort of opportunity, probably go in order of our presentation. And if we wouldn't mind starting with Illinois Wesleyan.
Could you say the question again? I'm sorry, you cut out.
Sure, I'll read exactly what the student wrote, and it's what scholarships are offered to minorities if accepted to any of these colleges.
Oh yeah, so we don't offer specific scholarships for students of color. The scholarship we offer is for merit aid at Illinois Wesleyan, but we do have a ton of resources for students on campus with our Office of Diversity and Inclusion.
Great, and Loyola Chicago? You're muted.
Clicked it twice. Yeah, for Loyola Chicago, we similarly have merit scholarships that are available to all students that apply. But then beyond that, specifically, we do have a Dreamer Scholarship for any student that identifies as a Dreamer. We also have a Hispanic Heritage Award. And both of those, pretty much any student that applies and accepted to Loyola that qualifies for those two would receive that application.
So U Chicago this summer announced a program called U Chicago Stand Together, which was essentially a way for us to support Black and underrepresented students. But it included $15 million in new scholarships, specifically that are going to be going towards underrepresented students on campus and specifically holding leadership roles. We also have a $5,000 annual scholarship automatically awarded to first generation to college students. Yeah, I think, and we're also have some very robust need-based aid. Didn't talk about that earlier, but we do offer. We're a need-blind institution. We meet full need, and we're no loans in our financial aid packages.
Hey, so good evening. Phil Foster, University of Illinois, Urbana, Champaign. So when you apply for admission, you're automatically considered for scholarships and financial aid as well. So if you're a senior this year, I would definitely say get your application in by November 15th, which is the early action deadline. We also have the Illinois Commitment Grant, if you will. So if you have a certain level of income, obviously, or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. So those are different things that we have for students as well.
Awesome. And then at DePaul, similarly, all students are automatically considered for academic scholarships. Specifically for students of color, we do have several scholarships that students can apply for once they are current students at DePaul. So mainly geared towards sophomores through seniors, again, really about that attainment piece of graduating. And then specifically for all DePaul students, we do have our Mariposa scholarship, which is specifically for undocumented students. So students can apply for that once they've been admitted. And then I see there was a question actually in the chat about scholarships for academic and athletic scholarships at DePaul. And so all athletic students are awarded a scholarship. We are Division I athletics in the Big East Conference. And then about 85% of our admitted students do receive an academic scholarship. And all the listings for that are on our website.
Great, thank you very much. Last call for any questions, and if you have any, please drop them in. But before we head out, just ask all of our presenters, if you wouldn't mind sharing if you're not currently offering campus visits, when we do get back to that point, what's that one spot that someone should see on your campus? Where would you recommend that they check out? And we'll keep the same order if you don't mind and start with Nicole.
That's a great question. I love that. Actually, my favorite spot on campus is called the Hot Spot. It's a concrete block. It's like 10 by 10 square that is in the middle of our quad, and it's it's heated by like a hot water pipe that runs underneath the ground. And so all year long, it's a really warm spot to go hang out at night and watch the stars. So throughout my entire 4 years, and really everybody uses that space to go hang out with friends and just kind of, I don't know, a lot of memories are created there and enjoying that space when you're not studying. So, yeah.
So we are currently offering virtual visits, but we hope to resume our in-person visits sometime in about mid-October, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, we do have a walking audio tour, so if you'd be interested in that, just give us a shout and we can hook you up with that. But when you do visit campus, I also have an outdoor spot, much like Nicole. Right outside of our chapel, right on the sidewalk space between our chapel and Lake Michigan, there's this spot that creates a natural echo if you stand right in the middle. So I always love telling people to go there and check it out because it's kind of a cool spot and it's also a really good view.
There we go. I put on this background because I wanted to show you this spot at the top of Rockefeller Memorial Chapel. They do tours up here twice a day. It's 288 steps to the top. It's the tallest structure on campus. Beautiful views going out. I didn't go up there. I was a student at UChicago. I didn't go up there until I was planning to get married in that chapel. And the Carillonist, and the Carillon has 72 bells that go through the tower, took us on a tour of the top. So you can do that when you come to Chicago. Not right now, but someday you'll come back.
So what's really cool is that my virtual background right here, it's the shot of the Illinois Union, but it's also part of what is called the quad. So a lot of students hang out there. I did see some students this year hanging out, socially distanced, of course, but they were doing a little sunbathing too. It was pretty funny. But yeah, that's a great place to hang out. And also has our quad days there as well, which is for student organizations.
And then at DePaul, I'm not on campus right now. I wish I could have my virtual background set up. I can never get it to work, but I would say one of my favorite kind of unknown spots on campus is on the 4th floor of our Arts and Letters building, which is located in our Lincoln Park campus. If you're lucky enough to get a class in the southeastern corner of the building, the whole all walls are windows and they have a beautiful view of the Chicago skyline while you're taking classes. I was such a lucky student one year, and the professor had to close the blinds because we just couldn't pay attention to anything else. But it's a lovely view and kind of a fun spot to hang out if you want to study.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of our presenters for sharing your stories and experiences this evening. And thank you to everyone for tuning in to learn about all of the great options in Illinois. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey, and we'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being offered as part of the Colorado Virtual College Fair, so certainly feel free to sign up for additional ones. And if you're looking for a recording of this session or any of the others, they'll be posted in about a week's time on the same website where you submitted your registration. Thanks again for joining us, and have a great evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.